everyone, welcome to our review of the day here at the World Magic Cup. Rich Hagon alongside Gaby, Spartz and Simon Görtzen, part of our commentary team in the booth down on the feature match floor here at the news desk all day. We're going to bring you all the action and reaction to a tremendous day here. Why don't we start with taking you right back to the start. We had 8 pools of teams of 6. And we began, Gaby, with something new to us here at the World Magic Cup, the single round shootout. Did it deliver?
I think so. It's pretty exciting when usually when you see these tournaments, it's not until later in the day that it actually becomes very impactful what's happening. The fact that people were playing for their tournament life at the very beginning and in the middle of the day, it was good. Yeah,
elimination magic all the way through pretty much. So why don't we take a look through the 8 pools, because we began with 48, we were quickly down to 32. Let's look at Pool A and how they advanced. Well, in the end, it was the top 2, Belgium and Bulgaria. Simon, Belgium set the pace yesterday. They just carried on today.
Yeah, there was a loss in between, but you have that one loss to give. And to me, the team composition of Team Belgium, we should have realized this much earlier, what a powerhouse it really was.
Right, because there was no weak link. There was just literally no one that you wouldn't want on a team, which was great stuff. All right, that was Pool A. Pool B, 6 teams became 4 and then became 2, and it was Ukraine and Spain that advanced. Gaby, the big one here, the casualties, we're seeing Austria and Slovakia both bite the dust with a ton of pros between them.
Yeah, it's tough matchups, and like you said, you have some of these.
Austria-Slovakia went against each other in the first round.
Yeah, and then they go against each other, and it's,
Austria, I think, had
casualties happened.
Yeah, I think Austria maybe had the toughest day, really. They beat Slovakia, then they lose to Ukraine. They force the decider by beating Chinese Taipei, which is super tough, but then lose out to Spain. All right, on we go. Pool C, let's show you what happened there this morning. Pool C, the top 2, Germany and Italy. And again, Simon, defending champions, they managed to, they faced off against Germany in the middle round, but couldn't send the Germans packing at that point. Germany then goes on to beat Sweden, and Jo Larsson and the Sweden team, they'll be very disappointed there.
Oh, of course, because it's easy to look at Germany and Italy, two great teams advancing, but with Sweden and also at the bottom, the Czech Republic, a lot of other good teams that couldn't quite make it.
Plenty more as we go through the pools, but right now our team of the day is waiting patiently out in the feature match area. Brian David Marshall is with Team Belgium.
Thanks, Rich. Team Belgium here. You guys have had a pretty smooth tournament. You've only faced elimination once today?
Yes, one time against Portugal, which was a sweat. It was close, but everything else went really smooth all weekend. It was unbelievable.
Now, tell me about playing with your brother here.
It's nice. We argue a bit, but it's all. We have a very direct way of communicating. Like we are pretty. Yeah, we argue against each other, but we always do it with the goal of improving, and it works very well. I think our synergy is really great.
Now, is there any sibling rivalry when you're playing? Or are you able to put that all aside?
No, there's not. We put it aside. It's like we argue a lot, but it really helps advance our game, so it's very good.
Now, obviously, you know your 2 teammates a little less time than you know this teammate. Tell us about the rest of the team here.
Okay, so Branko, we know him a long time. We know his achievements. We know how great he is, and he knows it. But yeah, we're really happy to pair with Branko. We did it in the World GP in Rotterdam. It went great as well. So we were very confident in that part. Jerome. We didn't know him, to be honest, when he won the WMCQ. But I was in contact with people who knew him in Brussels, and everyone was saying, he's a great player. And he only played like a year and a half, which is why I didn't actually know him, because he plays in Brussels mostly. And but Branko comes there, and Branko also said, he's a good player, and he's a modern specialist, which is what our team really lacked. So we were, in the end, really happy with Jerome on the team. We just counted on him to do the most work in modern.
Any teams you're looking to duck tomorrow? I mean, as you looked at the modern matchups?
We haven't seen all the matchups yet. We have to see the deck list later. Just on the quality of the teams, I think Italy is the one we want to face least.
All right, Peter Vieren, thank you so much. Team Belgium here, the team of the day at the World Magic Cup, heading into Sunday.
Thanks very much to BDM. Let's carry on then with our review of the day. We're up to Pool D. Let's show you what went on in that one. This was this morning's teams of 6. Remember, there's Pool D. Australia and Macedonia advanced. Israel with Shahar Shenhar, 2-time world champion, didn't quite make it. And Canada got eliminated by Macedonia. Simon, Gaby, that was an amazing match, the Canada against Macedonia.
Yeah, talk about Cinderella stories. I thought Canada had this in the bag. If I remember correctly, Alexander Hayne won his Infect Mirror, so it was only one of the 2 other Canadians that needed to win. You have Jacob Görtzen on black-green, a deck he's played for a very long time, super experienced player. He couldn't beat Dredge, despite a layline of the Void, it was destroyed. And then, usually, the Valco decks are favored against black-green, against Abzan-style decks, but somehow Macedonia made it happen. They made it work. They conjured a victory out of thin air.
Yeah, I can tell you, by the way, that was our match of the day, Canada against Macedonia. Do go back and watch that because it is great stuff. That is stage 1, round number 4. That was our match of the day. But on we go, Pool E. Let's show you what happened there this morning as we continue our quest through the day. Dominican Republic and Greece, the top 2 seeds, made it in. They advanced. Pool F, let's take a look at that for you. In Pool F, it was Belarus and Panama. Most unexpectedly, didn't look the strongest pool. Iceland and Hong Kong had led the way overnight, but we go into Pool G now as we show you 2 more teams that made it through pool play. Pool G, here it comes. Wales and Finland were the teams setting the pace overnight, but in the end, Wales suffered with a loss at the hands of England, then to Lithuania. Finland kept on trucking, and Lithuania with Godenis Vidigiris went through there. And then finally, Pool H. Let's take a look at that one for you. And it was the United States and Malaysia who went through. We've been joined by Brian David Marshall at the desk. At this point, BDM, USA are looking very strong. They've been very impressive right across the team with some names that we didn't know that much about outside Owen Turtenwell.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this was, Paul Yim is someone who we've seen a little bit at the Pro Tour. It's part of Team East-West Bowl. But Kevin Jones is someone who's, he's done well in open tournaments, but to see him perform on this stage was, I think, very eye-opening. As you said, I think to players, viewers, commentators alike, even his teammates.
Yeah, there were a lot of people really impressed with how he played because they constructed the other modern decks around him playing this Grixis Delver deck.
And in a sense, Gaby, that's no pressure because, hey, just do your thing.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if you've got someone like Owen Turtenwell saying, I am going to play 75 cards based on the fact that you want to play this, be any good, that's a lot of pressure too.
It is. I think it's a really good strategy, though. If you have this player who plays it very well, and like I said, a lot of people have been very impressed with how he played, you can construct other decks around it. It's not like they're going to have that much overlap. We saw that multiple times through Unified Constructed, Modern, and Owen's a really good captain. He's not there micromanaging how Kevin is playing. He says he knows how to play this deck. He says, what do you think? Do your thing.
But Owen is also super competitive. If he didn't think that this would give him the best chance to win the Magic Cup, he would have been the captain that told others what to play.
Yeah, 100%.
And he didn't do that.
Right. All right, so we ended up with 16 teams coming in to the afternoon session. And again, it would be 3 rounds. 2 rounds get you into the top 8. 2 losses kick you out of the tournament. So let's look at A through D. Here we go. Pool A, the second set of standings, stage 2. Belgium and Ukraine, they were the pace setters. Dominican Republic's run ends, as does Spain, losing to Belgium and the Dominican Republic. So Belgium and Ukraine advanced to the top 8 there. Let's look at Pool B for you. And here we see this was, BDM, we ended up with Italy against Germany again. And this time it was for all the marbles. Italy advanced, Germany went out, and for every great story there is some sadness, and I think Germany took it very, very hard at the end of that.
They did, but I think the same way we were just talking about Kevin Jones on the American team. I think Mark Tobiasz is someone who also made a very strong impression here this weekend, and another person where they constructed their modern decks around his modern deck. He was playing an especially greedy deck in terms of pulling cards away from other decks, and a great showing by the German national team, and a really impressive finish for Mark Tobiasz.
Gaby, we only have 4 former champions. Denmark made it to day 2, but lost in that shootout in the top 48. Then we had Chinese Taipei and France. They were gone by the time we got to the top 32. And then Italy continued to advance. And now here they are. They go into Sunday 3 matches away from defending the title, which is honestly just astronomically unlikely.
It is, and it's very difficult too. We saw Italy have a tough one against Panama, the one that got Panama into the top 8.
Right.
They had really, it looked like it was actually going very, very much in favor for them. They had ensnaring bridge and a welding jar to protect it, and it looked like Panama was out of this game. They were playing blue-red Kiln Fiend. And they do this thing that's called spinning your wheels, right? You're like metamorphose into draw a card, into metamorphose into draw another card. And they eventually spin their wheels enough that they're able to find a Bedlam Reveler that gets them into a Hercules Recall. This is while there's a young Pyromancer out in play, so they've been making... They've just been making tokens the entire time that they're playing cards, and eventually they're able to bounce and just attack for the kill. So that gets Panama in, and it looks like Italy might not make it, and then they make it in the next one.
Right, but congratulations to Italy. We'll see them again. Let's move on, see who else is in the top 8. Pool C this afternoon. Well, that delivered us the United States, Australia, Belarus, and Macedonia. And the win for Macedonia over the United States turned out to be critical because then the USA faced Australia. Australia eliminated the United States and then went on to beat Macedonia in the tie-break match, if you like. So Belarus and Australia advance. BDM, we always find one surprise package in the top 8 that we've hardly seen. I think probably this time it could apply to both these two, Belarus and Australia, under the radar.
Absolutely. I don't know that we actually talked to Belarus at all this weekend. They were kind of, under the radar. And Australia, really, it became apparent as they're like, that David Mines guy, he's still playing. Yeah, we should check in with them. And they've done a great job. And this is Australia's best finish in the World Magic Cup.
Right, and we can promise you that you will see them in action tomorrow because you will see every quarterfinal in order here. One more group to show you, Pool D, here it comes, and we'll show you how the last 16 turned into the last 8. It was Finland and Greece that advanced. Greece were the last team in, if you like, defeating Malaysia in the playoff in the final round. Lithuania made it to the top 16. That's their best finish. Great job by them, but it's Finland and Greece we will see tomorrow. So, we've crunched all the numbers, we have a top 8, but what about the bracket? What are we going to see tomorrow? Because the matchups are fixed and firm. Let's take a look at them for you, and we'll see what catches our panel's eye here at the World Magic Cup. So we are going to have the 1 v the 8 seed, that is Belgium, against Panama. BDM, that on form should be an uphill task for Panama, but hey, they're in the top 8.
Yeah, absolutely. And interestingly, Panama, not a super experienced team compared to, say, this Belgian team. When I was talking to the Team Panama, they actually didn't realize that they had all qualified for the Pro Tour by making the top 8. They didn't actually find that out until just before we did our interview from the feature match area. So, just to give you an idea of sort of the experience disparity that's going on here and the achievement that they've, made here by just getting through some of these far more experienced teams this weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Now, in the same half of the bracket, you've seen Belgium-Panama there. Gaby, Australia against Italy looks like a fantastic clash.
It really does. Italy is a very, very strong team. And we've also seen, like you mentioned, Australia, we didn't necessarily have them in our radars too much, but after seeing them play this weekend, they were playing great. They were being good teammates with each other. They were cooperating very well, and it looks like it's going to be a great match.
And they've embraced the role of giant killer.
Oh yes,
they really have.
Taking names.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I mean, that is the Australian way. I mean, they love a scrap. Where they're up against the wall and nothing more than here you are against the defending champions. Now, the bottom half of the bracket, that we begin with 3v6. That is Greece against Ukraine. BDM, again, from the historian point of view, we talk about defending champions, but here's someone who's been all the way to the final before. Bill Chronopoulos is going some unfinished business tomorrow.
Absolutely, very, very much on his mind. He's had a bad taste in his mouth since, and it tastes like a dune blast. For the last 2 years. of course, very happy to get to the top 8, very happy to get his team going to the Pro Tour and to keep growing the Greek Magic scene and keeping them excited and engaged. But really said, like, I'm here to win. I'm here to go one match better, really one game better than he did the last time he was in the top 8.
And then finally, Simon, we have 2 European teams to round things off in the top 8. It's Finland against Belarus. Neither team with a real huge Magic history, so they are really looking to make something very special happen tomorrow for them.
Yes, and I expect them to do that as quietly as they've been playing before. Finland, not really known for being a very chatty country, but they are delivering. They're just showing it on the battlefield.
I'm thinking back to a famous Tommy Hovey interview with Mark Rosewater. I mean, they could be very gregarious.
Loquacious, even, one might say. Now, just to fill you in, this is very important. Although that is the bracket, and 1 and 8, 4 and 5 are in the quarterfinals and then the semi-finals together, that is not necessarily the order that we'll be showing them tomorrow. We'll go and work that out, and that'll be published on the website, so you'll see what we're going to do tomorrow. But you'll see all 4 quarterfinals in their entirety. We'll be holding games just like we have today, so you'll see lots of action. That's got to be fun as well, Gaby, because you're down there and normally we just let things play out in the feature match area, but here there's a lot of stage management going on with let's make sure we get the end of the game on camera.
I actually think that's great because it means that it gives the teams more time to actually cooperate and play together. It also means that the viewer at home just gets to see all the matches. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day tomorrow. We have 8 teams remaining for you here at the World Magic Cup. You'll see the title won here in Rotterdam tomorrow. For Gaby Spartz, for Simon Görtzen, for BDM, Marshall Sutcliffe, Tim Willoughby, Louis Scott Vargas, all the rest of the boys and girls on the crew here at Wizards of the Coast, we will see you for the top 8 of the World Magic Cup tomorrow morning. Bye.